have to ask about your divorce with Don. So much of your relationship
Make me cry on that one.
was played out
Yeah.
on the show. Where does that stand now?
Well, I have a lot of divorce remorse. I mean, I really, really do. I'm married for 19 years to Don, and we're still legally married. We're not finalized yet. Hindsight, I wish I would have worked harder on the marriage. I really, really do. I think I messed up on some areas, and he messed up too. It takes two people to get married, it takes two people to get divorced. So where we stand now is we're good friends. I haven't seen him since January. He sees Brianna a lot and Troy a lot. Michael and him have kind of had a little bit of a falling out, but I'm hopeful that they can get back together. It stinks to get divorced, especially when you still have feelings for the person. And I will always love Don. You know, I met him when I was 21 and got married when I was 32. I've known him my whole adult life. He's a great man. We just drifted apart and we couldn't figure out a way to get back together. We were strangers in our own home. And when you get to that place, it's like, what do? Well, we try to go to counseling, we try to vacation together, and then we'd fight about not seeing each other, and then I'm like, well, okay, we're together now, why are we fighting that we're not together? And he says, you're too busy, and I said, you're not busy enough, and you know, it just got to a place where we didn't like each other, we didn't like being with each other, and it was almost harder to stay together than it was apart, and then when the apart happened, it was like, oh, I missed him, you know, missed him. It was really a big part of my life and my kid's life, and so I think that a lot of people can reflect back on that, where divorce was the only option in their mind when maybe it wasn't, you know. I mean, look at Nina getting remarried. I mean, people do end up reconciling, getting, I'm not saying Don and I will, I'm just saying we're family.
Bethany Frankel's going through a divorce as well. Do you have any advice for people like, you know, Bethany, who are doing it with cameras rolling and everyone else watching it?
Well, how do you have advice for people that are going through the hardest thing in their life? I mean, getting married is so joyous and getting divorced is so damaging. I just say surround yourself with good people, get really good advice, get really good counseling, get good attorneys. You know, it doesn't cost us a lot of money to get married, but it unfortunately costs us a lot to get divorced if you're successful. And so that's been a hard thing for me too, is, you know, you build up this estate together and then all of a sudden now it's divided in half, and you know, one feels neglected or cheated out, and it's hard. It's hard, you know. Divorce doesn't happen in a church, you know. It happens in courtrooms, and you're not getting married in a courtroom. Typically, you're getting divorced in a courtroom with, you know, judges and lawyers, and it's not something that I wish on anybody.